Insecurity, it's one of the most basic human feelings. And it doesn't really matter what you do, you're always going to feel insecure, particularly if you're stepping into the unknown. And that is what you're doing when you start an online business, you're stepping into the unknown. Imposter syndrome is a very common thing for beginners to have when they're building their business online. Whatever you do, whatever you think, everything you think is always, I'm not good enough. My content sucks, my video sucks, that last thing I did, it sucks, it's not good enough. And we all feel that way in the beginning. In fact, even now, as I'm recording this here, I know when I rewatch this to myself, I'm going to think, I'm stuttering, I'm not clear enough in my voice, I'm humming, I'm hawing, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, the lighting's not good enough, audio's not quite right, it's not good enough, right? I feel that all the time about everything I do. But you learn to push it aside because you learn that good enough is good enough, okay? And so in this video here, I want to share with you this concept to understand that the next time you create a blog post, a social media post, an image, a video, whatever you're creating, it is good enough, as long as you're willing to do one little thing that most people are not willing to do, and that's what I'm going to share with you in this video, okay? So keep watching. So guys, let's talk about you and your journey online as a marketer. Content creation is a big deal because whatever you do, doesn't matter if you're doing paid traffic, free traffic, social media, YouTube, blogging, whatever it is, you need to create content of some form, okay? There are many variations, but ultimately content is king. You have to have content to connect with your audience in some way, otherwise they have nothing to connect with you, and there's no way to build a relationship, there's no way to build any kind of rapport, there's no way to build anything. So you have to have content. Now that brings in a huge problem because when you start creating content, the immediate reaction is blind panic over the thought of expressing your feelings. People have imposter syndrome because they feel they don't know enough, they're not smart enough, they haven't got what it takes, they're not an expert, you're not a niche guru and so on, and people freeze up and they panic. And that's because they always feel that the content isn't good enough. And I watched a video recently from Gary Vee where he talks about the whole idea of imposter syndrome and how that is just a new fancy word for saying you're insecure. That's it. Okay, and so you have to learn to get over that, because when it comes down to it, insecurity, it's one of the most basic human feelings. And it doesn't really matter what you do, you're always going to feel insecure, particularly if you're stepping into the unknown. And that is what you're doing when you start an online business, you're stepping into the unknown. And that means for you, obviously, it's gonna be scary. It's gonna make you feel insecure. It's gonna make you feel like you have imposter syndrome. But as always, guys, you'll see me say this in all my videos, right? Everyone feels this way, okay? So knock your fragile little ego out of the way and knock your fragile self-worth and self-image out of the way and get it done, because good enough is good enough, okay? I did my first $100,000 online, guys, and my videos were garbage. They were terrible, at least in my opinion, because when I look at them, I see bad lighting, bad audio, bad ideas, bad executions, so stuttering, mumbling, humming and hawing, right? And the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on, right? Because we are all our own worst critics, see? Right? But the point being, guys, that good enough is good enough, because most of the time, people don't really care about you, okay? So right now, in this video here right now, do you care if there's a bit of a shadow on this lamp here? Do you care if this microphone on this shelf back there isn't perfectly lined? Do you care if my hair is down here or up here? Do you care if I'm looking over here or if I'm looking at the lens? Okay? Not really, right? But I do, because when I look back at this video, I think, Philip, stop, you have to look at the camera, look at the lens, don't look over here, look at the lens, right? And that's my internal voice. But can you see how good enough is good enough, because I'm getting the point across? And that's how I did my first $100,000 online, with very, very basic equipment. Everything was basic in terms of lighting, in terms of what I was wearing. I didn't think about my hair and stuff. I just hit record and start blah 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 blah, talk, and that was good enough. Okay, but obviously you need to have some sense of self-awareness. You need to have some kind of purpose to actually try and improve a bit every single time, or every month, or every week. Otherwise, creating the same crap again and again and again isn't always advisable, right? But the point of this video here, guys, is to make you understand that good enough is good enough, because everyone starts from somewhere. Everyone. You can test this right now. You can go to whoever you follow online, whether it's Gary Vee or whoever. It doesn't matter who you're following. Go and check out their very first videos. Go and find their social media. Scroll down to the very, 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 very first posts online. Most likely they were very basic. Some quite frankly quite bad, right? But guess what? Did it matter? No, because they were posting, learning, adjusting, posting, learning, adjusting, improving, posting, learning, adjusting, improving, right? That is the process. And guess what happens? As you do that, as time progresses, you become an expert, right? Because the more content you create, the more you research. The more you research, the more you start to learn. The more you research and implement, the more practical experience you gain. The more you research and implement and sort of learn about the perspective of your niche, the more you learn about your audience. The more you learn about your audience, the better you can implement, because you know what they want. The more you give them what they want, the more engagement you'll get, because they're going to like it more, they're going to comment more, and suddenly your business grows. Get it? That's why good enough is good enough. And so if you feel like you have an imposter syndrome, yeah, you do, because you're insecure. Because you're worried about what your friends will think, or will people troll you? Will people judge you? And yeah, they will, okay? But suck it up and grow up a pair of balls and realize that, yeah, that's the business we're in. If you're online thinking that you can somehow escape that, then you're being very naive, okay? Because, there's no other way to put it. Just suck it up and get on with it. And realize that the good thing is, guys, the more you do it, the better you get. The better you get, the more you realize that, I was worried about nothing. Because that microphone that's sitting here on the shelf, it doesn't need to be completely perfectly aligned, so it's okay, right? But you have to make the video, you have to make the blog post, you have to make the social media post to make yourself realize that, to get over it, to move past it. And as long as you're able to be self-aware enough to try and improve a little bit every single day, then that will take care of itself. The more you implement, the more you learn, the more you do, the more you learn, the more you do and learn and implement, the more you can sort of scale up your professionalism, and you can move forward further than ever before. Okay, it really is that simple. Get it? I really hope so. So guys, if you want me to coach you to build a real business online as an affiliate marketer, then you can click on the link below. You can go over to Tao and you can join there, and I can personally coach you for the next 6 months to help you build a real business online as a marketer. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. Please do subscribe and like this video, and leave any comments you have if you have ever experienced any imposter syndrome yourself, and you can share the story with me. Okay guys, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again real soon. Cheers.